Welcome back, YouTube. Today's episode is going to be pretty quick, just small little updates, fixing up some things in the center console, and then overall going and then going over and then an overall look at the car and where it stands right now. And by car, we're talking about the GS today, not the Soarer. So let's go ahead and get started. It's a pretty tight fit here. I was able to make room and set up both cars. So we're gonna have to either move the Soarer out or make with what we've got. Let's check it out. All right, so to update you guys on where the GS stands right now, I put all the interior, well, most of the interior back together. So you can see, trying to make it feel like a car again. The last thing I did, let's see here, the transmission is mounted. The last video you guys saw that. The only thing I was waiting on last video was a cross member or the transmission mount for the R154 from Drift Motion. It was back ordered, so it took a little while for it to get here. It's extremely simple. I was gonna do a how-to video, but it's extremely simple. It's, you drill 2 holes into the original trans mount, and then it has spacers. It's so straightforward. If you've gotten this far with swapping a transmission into your car, I'm sure you're not gonna have an issue with this. So as of right now, the center console, I'm sure most of you guys know, the center console on a GS, it's kind of off-centered. One side is the 2 cup holders and the other side is where the transmission shifter sits. However, being that we went manual, the transmission, the shifter sits right in the middle. So what we're gonna have to do today is take a Dremel and open up the, maybe you guys can see it. We're gonna have to open up most of this, right? We're gonna try to do our best not to screw up, because I really like this it's kind of like a bluish trim that I haven't seen. If I'm not mistaken, it comes from an Aristo, but we're gonna have to trim out that stuff so the shifter actually sits in the middle. Then we can later on get a shift boot and make it look all nice. And the other thing is my buddy Dakota gave me an GS300 handbrake to try to make it fit with this. However, it's extremely difficult to do. So as of right now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and order an upright pullback style handbrake. I'm gonna make it look as clean as possible, of course, because that's the main goal on this car. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Pull out the Dremel and start cutting away. This stuff makes me extremely nervous, so wish me luck. This is how it looks in the car. Oh, you guys can see where I cut the trans tunnel. I got a little too excited here, but you don't have to cut. I believe it's here is where the original shifter sits. All you have to cut is this little section here, and this is for the tripod R154, not the gooseneck. I'm not sure if you have to cut or how much you have to cut for the gooseneck. This is for the tripod R154, and this is in a 2000 GS, 2nd gen GS. So minimal cutting, sits just right. I believe there's some type of bushing or something shot in my transmission, because normally this is supposed to bounce back into the middle and it doesn't. But whatever, we'll worry about that later. This is how it sits. So that's first gear. Not much room to put a handbrake. see, first, second, Jesus, second almost touches. So maybe later on we'll shave that down too if it turns out to be a problem. But for the most part, this portion is done. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the intercooler. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a link in the description below just in case you guys wanna purchase it. It's from Treadstone. It's rated up to 666 horsepower.
The devil?
So should be more than enough for this build. So it's extremely heavy. Put the phone down real quick, pick it up, give you guys a walk around or walk through of it, where the mounting tabs go, and then we'll get started. All right, so, oh man, I can't flip the camera. I'll just do this. All right, so this is the intercooler. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 3 inches thick. So this is my hand, 3 inches thick. So it's pretty, it's a stout intercooler. So what we're gonna do right now is, based on the images that I've seen on the internet, we're gonna try to somewhat mock the same style. The idea comes from like CX Racing, I believe it is. Whoa. CX Racing, which I've heard their intercoolers, not to talk down on them, but the fitting on them is pretty poor. But I mean, we're gonna be in the same situation right now. Obviously this intercooler wasn't meant for this car. It's just a universal intercooler. So we'll see what we can do. The images that I've seen, right, this center radiator support actually comes out. So we're gonna try to get rid of that and see if maybe we can tuck the intercooler deep in there. I still plan on running AC, so I have to keep in mind that I do have AC components that are gonna be back there. And I've been debating, I'll probably run the first couple events without it, but I've been debating on doing an oil cooler for this car as well. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get that center radiator support out, and then we'll take it from there. It's so hot in this garage, but I gotta turn off the fan so you guys can hear me. We got the stuff taken off so you don't make the same mistake that I made. This centerpiece, right? It goes like this onto the car. Now, there are a few mounting points for it. There's one here, one on the right side of the car, and then one on the bottom, right? All those are 10 millimeters, and then the top part, which kind of threw me for a loop, this part right here, it just screws off. I was here banging up the radiator support for a while trying to figure that out, but it just screws off. Make sure to put it back on though, because it's for the hood latch. You can see how it's kind of off-centered now. Gotta fix that. But, oh, actually the hood latch has 2 screw points also to make sure that it's correctly placed in. Now, this is where I really butchered it. This bottom part, which is supposed to meet up with the center radiator support. Yeah, whatever. It's held on by the headlight bracket by 2 spot welds, right? I didn't have the correct tools. All I had was a step-up bit and an impact driver. So that's what I used. That's what I used, and I butchered the hell out of these holes. But it is what it is. At least we can start mocking this thing up. Hopefully try to figure out where it's gonna sit. Chances are we're just gonna hold it together with zip ties right now. And later on we'll figure out proper mounting as far as welding and everything else goes. All right, so this is what I've got so far. You can see the upright mounts that I was talking about. I just have it connected with zip ties, obviously, because we're just mounting this stuff up. I put an Allen key on the bottom just to push against the, I guess, lower radiator support. I don't know what the hell you would call that, but it tries to it kicks it out so you can see where the inlet and the outlet will actually sit. I'm gonna create a bracket on the bottom, try to create a mounting point. Maybe we'll through bolt something on the bottom and then just kick it out to mount at the bottom there. But I do want to suck in the radiator a little bit more because it sits out pretty far. That'll be the front of the car. I don't want it that far out there. I want to try to bring it in a little bit. You can see right here. I feel like that's too far out. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I got to get my welding skills a little better, and then we'll suck this thing in, try to make it a little better, put some tabs on it. Same thing for the radiator as well. You can see the little, I guess, half moon brackets that normally sit on a radiator. We're gonna have to figure that out. Chances are we're gonna, again, through bolt it and then figure out the mounting on the bottom. But that's it. It's not bad. Get an idea. So that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. I know it was a short one, but it's just quick little updates. You know, you do stuff like this as often as you can to try to keep the consistency going. Because if not, it turns into one huge project that you don't really want to accomplish. You realize how much money and time it actually takes. If you do little by little every day, it feels significantly better. Hopefully next video we'll be doing the wiring in the car. I got all the wiring out. I got the dash back in. So hopefully we'll figure that out. As of right now, I just want to get the car running, hit a few events before we actually start cleaning up. Because I might need to work out a few bugs. We're gonna try to just run it with OEM wiring, and then later on we'll start cleaning that stuff up. But as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you guys.